Hi, I'm Author Jeanne Bender of the Lindie Lou Adventure Series books, and today I'm going to read to you Chapter 1 of Book 5 of the Lindie Lou Adventure Series called On Ice, Exploring the Arctic with a Polar Bear Cub. There's Lindie Lou, and there's a polar bear cub, and they're sliding down a mountain in the snow. Oh, and on the next page of the book, there's Lindie Lou sliding in an ice cave. You're going to learn a lot more about those ice caves too in this book. And in this book, we also have a map of the places Lindie Lou is going to go in this book on ice, north of the Arctic Circle. And we have a character page where you'll get a chance to meet some of the characters that Lindie Lou meets in the book on ice. And I'd just like you to know that this book is 28 chapters and 278 pages. But don't let that scare you. There are lots of color illustrations and large fonts, and it's very easy to read. So come along for the adventure. Book 5 on ice. And on the chapter pages, you'll see a color picture of Lindie Lou and the polar bear cub, and you're going to learn a lot about these things here, these lights in the sky north of the Arctic Circle that are called northern lights. So let's begin with Chapter 1. Another awesome adventure. Lindie Lou climbed up the stairs to Kate and Brian's bedroom. It was a cold December morning. She walked into the room and jumped up on the bed. Brian was packing. And there's a picture of Brian. He's packing his clothes, and Kate is folding one of his sweaters, and Lindie Lou is watching. It has always been my dream to visit the Arctic Circle and study the Northern Lights, said Brian. My boss is giving me a chance to visit one of the most remote places on Earth. What did you say it was called? Asked Kate. Svalbard, said Brian. And there's an image of Svalbard. You can see it's a group of islands in the middle of a waterway, which you'll learn more about in the book. It's a group of islands east of Greenland and is actually part of the country of Norway. He looked at Kate. Are you sure you can't come with me? Kate sighed. I spoke to my boss. We both agreed that the work I'm doing requires me to stay here in Seattle. Lindie Lou crawled into Brian's suitcase and rolled over on her back. Do you think your boss would let you take Lindie Lou? Asked Kate. Brian tickled Lindie Lou's tummy. I've already asked him. He said I could, said Brian. But if I take Lindie Lou, you will be all alone. No, I won't, said Kate. The ducks on the lake visit me every day, and I have Lindie Lou's stuffed animal friends to keep me company. Evie and Manny and Coco. So here's an image of Coco the monkey, which you learn a lot about in Book 1, and Evie, who's the the pink lobster, and Manny, who's the purple crab. And you learn a lot about Evie and Manny in Book 2. "Are you sure?" said Brian. "I'm sure," said Kate. "Besides, Lindie Lou loves to travel. She will keep you warm on those cold Arctic nights." "We're going to miss you," said Brian. He hugged Kate. "Promise me you will be careful up there." "I promise," said Brian. "I'm packing warm clothes, and Lindie Lou's furry coat will help keep her warm." "Stay away from those huge polar bears," said Kate. "They're hungry in the winter months." Brian held up his hands. "Grrr," growled Brian. "Grrr," replied Kate. And there's a picture of Brian and Kate, and they are growling, pretending they're polar bears. And you can see Lindie Lou on her tummy. She's looking over at them. Okay, then, it's settled. You and Lindie Lou are going on another awesome adventure. So there they go. Brian and Lindie Lou are going to the Arctic, to Svalbard, and Kate is going to stay home, and she has the company of Coco and Manny and Evie and the ducks on the lake to keep her busy. And as you see in chapter 2, it says we're going to the Arctic. So come along for the fun as Lindie Lou and Brian travel to the Arctic. See what they learn, see who they encounter, and learn more about this interesting place called Ice Caves. And remember, this is a super fun book called On Ice, Exploring the Arctic with a Polar Bear Cub.